Ohio gozaimasu. This is Tuskegee 87 doing a review and a brief walkthrough on how to change your spark plugs in a 2001 R6. They're virtually all the same, but I just figured, I'd do my own because it's the first time that I've changed my spark plugs in a bike before. I've done it in my car, but a bike's slightly different. So anyway, as you can see, I'm using NKG spark plugs, best things you can get. Don't put anything else in there. No matter what year, model, Yamaha that you have, you're always going to use the NKGs. Now, I've already changed the spark plugs out, but these are the old ones, and you can see how dirty they look. The new ones, they're pretty bright, pretty shiny. As you can see, a lot of these have normal wear on it. I mean, this is what you expect to see if your engine's been running on the same spark plug for about 10,000 miles, because I didn't change mine at the 6,000 miles like the manufacturer said you're supposed to. But then again, I've only had the bike for about 2,000. So anyway, that's that. So things you'll need is obviously screwdriver. I have here just like a whole little slew of different screwdrivers. So I have a fathead Phillips screwdriver. You're also gonna need one of these, I forget what you call them, hex type bolts. You need one of those. I use this big one. That's to get the seat off and get the tank off. And then you'll need a spark plug. Damn it, can't even think of the name of it, but spark plug socket wrench thing. And then you're also going to need a 6-inch extender. Now, when you're working in an 01 R6, it's a little tricky trying to get this extender with this attachment with your wrench on there all at once. Now I'm going to show you what I mean. But these are the main things that you're going to need. So my bike's already taken apart, and I also printed out the page from the original owner's manual just showing you how to do it. It doesn't tell you how to take everything apart. It just shows you this. And this little piece right here is going to waste a lot of your time if this is your first time doing it. And that's the heat shield, but I'll show you all that just as well. So, and one thing before I forget, you will definitely need one of these. This is a magnetic extender. Once you get this, get the spark plug loosened out, if you don't have a rubber grommet inside of your socket, as mine does not, the spark plug isn't going to come up. So you're going to need a magnetic wrench to pull the plug out. So that's that. And also too, a little lube is good. I mean, I have brake lube here, but spark plug lube, brake plug lube, it's all the same lube. So lube it up and let's get cracking. So on over here, we have the R6. And in case you're wondering, this is Rhino liner or Line-X that I have on here. But I've already taken it apart. The air box is sitting right here on the table, and the tank is over here on the floor. So I took all that off because it makes it easier. A lot of guys like to put like a little pole right here and support the tank, but to me it just gets in the way, especially when you're trying to change the spark plugs that are way down here. So this is your throttle, or this is your card and everything. Down here is where your actual spark plugs, or where your coils are, and up under the coil is where the spark plug is. I'm gonna pull out one of them because I've already done the rest, and I mean the process is basically the same. But when you get ready to pull them out, basically you just pull straight up. One little thing that I didn't think about are these little connection clips. Instead of where normal clips, you actually have to lift up this little piece to pull it out. You actually push down on it and pull out. So don't spend 10 minutes trying to lift this thing up and pull it out when all you need to do is just press down on it and pull out. So that this connects to your coil. So anyway, your coil, you're going to have to put some force on it to get it out. This one is already stuck in there. This one I haven't put in all the way. But you put some force on it, pull it straight up and out. It's going to look exactly like this. So I always want to check the inside of it where the top of your spark plug goes. look in here, make sure that your electrical connections are good to go. And once that's done, you can get down off in there and pull the spark plug out. Like I said, it's pretty deep down in there. That's why you need your 6-inch extender. But let me show you when you're putting this in here. These two in the middle are the easiest to do. The ones on the outside are a bitch to get in if you're trying to use this, because you have to finagle it in there. But it'll go in there if you do it right. But anyway, you just take your socket wrench with your extender, stick it all the way down in there, and just as normal, pop that on, and then just turn it. So you'll just keep turning and turning until it gets loosened up, and then you'll just repeat this whole process backwards. So, I mean, it's pretty simple, it's pretty easy. There's like thousands of YouTube videos to show you how to do this. I just figured I'd do my version. So, that's the R6, you know, whole little changing your spark plug thing. And obviously you just plug your connectors back in. And then once you're done with that, you're good to go. Now, I'll do a video later on how to reassemble the whole thing and take it all apart for your carburetors, because I've already cleaned these out once before, but I'll show you again. But it's pretty quick, simple, easy. The guide doesn't tell you how to do it all, but it's relatively simple once you do it the first time. So, obviously to do this though, you're going to need to take your whole side panels off. Oh, and that is about it. I'm rambling a little bit because I'm trying to remember what else I was going to do. But yeah, get these dirty ones out, put the new pretty ones in, and you should be good to go. And also too, you should invest in a K&N air filter for your bike, just so it can get more airflow to it. So that's this review on how to do spark plug chains on your 2001 R6 Tuskegee 87 taking off. Alright, so this is part 2 of changing spark plugs, reassembling and everything. Forgot to tell you about this little plastic heat shield. They're held to, this thing is held onto the bike by 2 plastic push pin type, you know, devices that just holds it on. So when you're actually trying to take this off the bike for the first time, so it's actually going to be sitting in here. You actually got to finagle this thing just all off in there. It's a bitch to take out and a bitch to put back in, but you actually have to remove the light. You actually have to get up under here on top of the engine block and kind of feel around where it's actually going to be, and you actually have to push this piece up to get it out. And then once you do that, you go on the other side and do the same thing. Another piece is that there are 2 little wire harnesses in here. Damn light again. There are 2 wire harnesses that attach to the top of it. So they actually connect. And these 2 holes right here. But basically, they're a different type. You actually need to get a needle nose plier or something like that to squeeze it, to actually pop it out. So you actually have to do a, you know, like little squeeze and then push up motion with it. Yeah, so you have to do, just kind of squeeze it, collapse the whole thing together, and then just push up. And once you do that, it'll pop off. So you do that on both sides, and you'll be good to go on that particular portion. So I'm gonna try to stick this damn thing in here. It's gonna take a bit. And this little rubber piece here that catches all your fluid, you actually want to pull that back because this piece goes up under that. So, and this will also go up under your throttle cable right here. So actually, all these little wire harnesses go over top of this. So I'm gonna pause and we're gonna skip forward in about 2 seconds to this being in, and then we're gonna proceed. These 2 outside ones are gonna be a bitch, so be mindful of that. And my phone's about to die. But anyway, it's a simple process. There's this little clip piece right here. Instead of trying to pull up on it, just push down on it. Actually, I'm gonna do this one for ease. You just push down on that. Apply a little upward force. You actually have to pull out. You need 2 hands for this. Alright, so now that this is loosened up, you just slide it out. And then here's your ignition coil. Looks something like that. So you just look down off in here, make sure nothing's broken. Check here, make sure nothing is broken on here. After I demonstrate, the removal of one spark plug, I'm gonna go back and show you how to check for if your coil is putting out enough power, if the resistor is processing right or everything like that. So I'm gonna set this off to the side. Grab your extender, grab your spark plug socket, mate them to one another. Alright, so after you mated them to one another, simply just go in. Let me slide out the way. Stick it in, get it nice tight on there, and then start to crank it. Once you get it cranking, should just be easy to unscrew. One thing I suggest you get to is some lubrication, spark plug lube. You can use brake lube if you have it. It's all the same lube. Get it at your AutoZone store. Take your mag extender and then just pull the spark plug out. So this is actually a new spark plug. I just put it in a couple of days ago. So looks something like that. Looks still pretty good. Make sure you gap these two. Gap them to 6 millimeters per the manual. You should also use your manual too for other things. But anyway, when you want to put a new one back in, so let's say this is my new one by the way, but let's say you get your new one, everything's quick, simple, easy process. Take your new one, drop it off in there, and then repeat this whole process in reverse. La la la. You just screw the whole thing in there. Come on. Come on. Alright. So. Come on. There we go. You want to make sure that sucker's nice and tight too, because you don't want any oil, any compression coming out. You want this thing to be seated nice and tight, because you want combustion to be as complete and as full as you can get it. So I thought I had tightened this one up last night, but apparently I didn't, because it was relatively easy to get off. Alright. So once you've done that, just pull that bad boy out. And then move on to next. Like I said, these take a bit of force to pull out, so you're going to require 2 hands depending on how good your connections are. But next thing you want to do too is come over here to your owner's manual. I actually have mine on my computer, and you can see ignition coils here. Primary coil resistor, you want it in between this range. Secondary coil resistor, you want it in this range. This is for 2001 R6, so be mindful of that. So basically what they mean by primary and secondary is the way you're going to test it. So your primary testing is going to be these two up here. Your negative is going to be, when you're looking at it like this, your negative is going to be on your right side, and your positive is going to be on your left side. Your secondary test is going to be your negative up here on the right side, but your positive going off in here into the boot itself. So depending on what type of whatever you call this damn thing, depending on what type of freaking Ah, shit, never mind. Forget it. Anyway, the digital meter, depending on what type of needles you have, will depend on how deep they go in here. So mine are kind of nubby, so it makes it kind of difficult to get up in the boop section. But I can demonstrate to you it being connected through the primary set. So we gonna find some way to sit you down here. Alright, so you cut it on the ohms. You want to do it at 200 and below, because I mean you're not going to get that many ohms coming through this thing. So right now I'm sitting at 1. Once you connect it to, see if you can see all that right there. Stick that in like that. Stick this other one in like so. All you got to do is make sure that the metal touches metal. And then you should see it flashing and shit. I'm not getting them in here good, but when you do it right, you'll see the numbers flash up. Anyway, the numbers on here need to match up in between this range up here. If they don't, you probably need a new coil. If they're below this number, you definitely need a new coil because it's not producing enough power. If it's above that number, you're having too much current in there, so that could possibly damage and burn out your coil just as well. So, like I said, use your owner's manual when you're doing this type of thing. Like I said, mine's electronic, just easier for me. You don't have to, you know, worry about toting that thing around, getting holes stabbed in it, or my dirty ass hands getting it all messed up and greasy. So anyway, once you do that, you just put all that in there, and then you watch my part 1 video, which is actually should be part 2 of how to put all this crap back together. And then once you do that, you should be good to go and ready to ride. So that's all I have. I know this was a little not as good as other videos, but like I said, this is just for first time people doing this kind of thing to their bike. I want to show them step by step on how to do this whole process. So good luck out there, safe riding, always wear your gear, be mindful of everything around you, be situationally aware when you're riding your bike, and have fun. Alright, it's Tuskegee 87 signing off.